They reasonably believe that like no good comes from this.
The other day I made a video response to a video describing the problem of evil, and I was happy to see this morning that the original author had taken the time to not only respond to my comments, but also to make a short video. I sincerely appreciate this interaction. His comments are as follows, quote, "Okay, but apply this to cases. It surely would have been better had the school shooting massacre been prevented, etc. You say you don't know that," end quote. Now, I think this comment obscures some of the nuance of this situation, for if the statement is, it would have been better had this event not happened, the answer to that is obviously yes. It would have been better for the criminal in question to have chosen not to do that action. However, this is a much different statement than, after the shooter made the choice to commit this crime, it would have been better if God had intervened and prevented it. And the truth of that latter claim, as I explained in my last video, is not quite so clear, and I would say that claim is at best unjustified and at worst simply false. The original author is using what is sometimes referred to in the problem of evil literature as a no-see-em argument. A no-see-em refers to those pesky little bugs that bite you when you are camping but you can't see them. If I look in my tent while camping and I can't see any no-see-ems, it would be irrational for me to conclude that there are none there, as even if they were there, I wouldn't be able to see them. On the other hand, if I look in my tent and I don't see a raccoon, it is rational for me to conclude that there is no raccoon in my tent, as that's the type of thing that I should expect to see if it was there. So the question when it comes to the problem of evil is whether God's reasons for allowing evil are more like the no-see-ems or are they more like the raccoon. Now, my interlocutor in his video seemed to indicate that God's reasons are things that we would expect to be able to see, which is why he asked this question. And the subtle suggestion here is that if you can't see any reasons, you shouldn't think they are there. Now, I think that there are a good many theodicies put forward to explain why God allows evil that are successful. So I denied the idea that we can't see any of God's reasons in this aspect. However, because of the suggested argument in the author's original video, I was arguing that even if I granted that I couldn't see any reasons for these things, it still wouldn't follow that they aren't there, and I provided reasoning behind my suggestion that we shouldn't be surprised if we can't see all of God's reasons due to our cognitive limitations. Now, in the video response by my interlocutor, let's ask the question, does he engage with any of the reasons I put forth? Does he put forth any counter-arguments for his position? Well, it doesn't seem like it. All he does is, after summarizing my position, is to ask questions, which are, if somebody's child died, don't they reasonably believe no good comes from this, or that any good that comes from this does not justify the bad that happens? And the questions framed this way seem to be rhetorical in nature. They seem to be put forth as implying that the person in question is rational in their belief that no good comes from this, or that good doesn't outweigh the bad. But notice that in saying this, he isn't engaging with my argument. He is just asserting that they are justified in their belief and that there is no good. However, I have already given an argument for why I think they would not be rational in making that conclusion. It seems like all I got in response was two questions and an incredulous stare.